All right, since for some of you this will be your first time with the John, we figured that we should give you some more official instructions on how to work it. This is what you'll be doing during the parade, and most important to us is that you keep the parade moving at a steady and slow pace and help prevent gaps between the crews and the bands. Keep the crowds back so they don't bottleneck the parade. Be polite but firm. And if somebody turns out to be sort of a dick about it, then get the police to handle them. There should be police officers at every intersections. Slow down. Even if a gap should develop in the parade, let it develop. Do not speed up. The thing we hate most is having to run to catch up with your float, or really having to run during the parade at all. We're out there to have a good time. If a gap develops in the parade usually stops a few times along the parade route because there's issues that we have to discuss with the police and so on, and it gives everyone a chance to catch up. So if you see a gap developing, don't worry about it. Don't speed up. Just keep on going at a steady, slow pace. The most important role for you is to keep your crew and your float together. Your crew is going to have a tendency to spread out as the parade goes on. And it's okay to slow down the float or encourage your crew members to move along to keep your float, your band, and your crew together as one unit. Look around you and see how far your band is behind you. The rule of thumb here is if you are in front of your float and you cannot hear your band, then your crew has spread out too far, and at that point it's okay to slow down your float. To do that, if you have a mule, you need to talk to the mule handler and ask them to maybe stop or slow down a little bit to give everyone a chance to catch up. Another thing you need to be aware of are parade crashers. So we sometimes have individuals or even entire rogue crews who try to crash into the parade and march along with us. Politely ask them to step out of the parade and explain to them that this parade is for KdV members only. Again, if they're going to be a dick about it, you can ask a police officer to take care of them. And the way that you can tell who is permitted to be in the parade and who isn't is by checking their wristbands. You will have received a wristband yourself when you check in, and everyone who is a crew member or is in the crew has crew wristbands. If you see somebody without a wristband or with a wristband that you don't recognize, please ask them to leave the parade. Okay, the thing to remember about the pace of the parade is what? Oh yeah, that's right. We need to keep the parade moving at a nice, slow pace. It's really more of a drunken stumble than anything else. But the key thing is we really don't want anyone running. And everyone's going to end up at the same place in the end. There's really no need for anyone to rush. We want people to have a good time, so have a good time. If your float breaks down, you first need to notify the police. So one of your subcrew's escorts should go find a police officer and ask them to radio the front of the parade and ask them to stop. The front of the parade will then stop and we'll wait, but we'll only wait about 10 minutes. So if your float can't be fixed in 10 minutes, then you need to pull it off to the side. And at that point, somebody from your crew should stay with your float and take care of it, make any arrangements to get it to wherever it needs to go that night, except for it can't go back to the den. And your responsibility, however, is to stay with your crew and parade all the way to the end, because you're responsible for the safety and security of the crew members. So even though the float may stay behind, you are going to keep on marching with us. Now remember, working it is always a smooth, slow process. Don't speed up. Your KdV Johns will really thank you for it. How to know when you've finished the job. We talked about this a little bit already when we looked at the map, but you'll be done whenever your float is parked for the night, and that might either be in the parking lot or if your subcrew captain has taken the float away and taken it to wherever it'll stay for the night. There are 3 referee kits along the that are being carried along during the parade. They'll be located on float numbers 2, 8, and 14. And there will be an escort from each one of those floats who is assigned that referee kit. And we ask you to please return that referee kit to either Jen or myself. I'm sorry, I mean escort number 1 or escort number 2 at the end of the parade. There are 6 positions which we like our escorts to take as we march along each float, crew, and band unit. I know this is a slide that you see every year, and I think every year I promise you that I will improve the graphics of it. But here I am yet again, and I'm sorry I haven't had any time to make them any better. But if you, for now, bear with me and take this oval to be a mule, this rectangle to be a float, this grass to be your sub, and this shaded green box to be your band, then there are 3 positions while the parade is moving. Position number 2, and number 3. Position number 1 I call the missionary. And the missionary's position is, well, you should all know what the missionary position is. If not, you need to look at a different video. But for the sake of what we're doing here, the missionary's responsibility is to control the spacing of the crew in front of you. That is the crew that's marching in front of you. And you need to push the crowd back to make space for the float and the crew to get through. So you need to stay away from the mule. You need to politely but sternly push the crowd back. And you need to move at a nice, slow speed. Even though there may be a gap in front of you and the band of the crew in front of you, that's okay. Keep checking for whether you can hear your band behind you. And as long as you can hear your own band, you're in good shape. Position number 2 is turning her over. So these are the 2 escorts that are marching right behind the float, and their role is to watch the float on the turns and make sure you don't crash into anything like parked cars, spectators, anything else that may get caught between you and your float as you're making a turn. If you need to stop for an emergency, if your float breaks down, as before, contact the police and we'll stop the parade. Your float will have a float number. Let the police know which float number you are with so that those of us who are responding to the incident can find you guys quickly. If you need a tool to fix a broken float, remember the escort kits are located on floats 2, 8, and 14. Position 3 is the tight rear end. Again, I'm hoping I don't have to explain this to y'all, but the natural tendency is for the parade to spread out, and that's mostly a result of the crew members wanting to dance, running into friends, having a good time, and the gap between your crew's float and your band getting larger and larger. So position 3, you're located behind your subcrew and in front of your band. And basically, your role is to very politely but assertively asking your crew members to move along so that you are minimizing the gap between your band and your float. While we're moving, please always have someone manning this position.
Okay, what to bring and wear on parade day? All right, so we never quite know what the weather's going to be. We need to prepare for rain. We need to prepare for coldness because it's something that usually happens every year. So bring your rain gear. Definitely bring comfortable walking shoes. We're walking quite a bit, so make sure your feet are comfortable. Costumes. We encourage costumes like it's nobody's business, but we're just going to ask you to put your escort t-shirt on top of your costume during the parade. So just make sure that that's possible. No wings or anything like that you can't put underneath your shirt. And then, of course, warm clothes for the just in case it's super, super cold, because it's been cold in the past. And don't forget to bring some gloves. Just also a quick reminder again too to bring a small backpack if you'd like, and you can drop it off at the ball site before. That time is from 10 a.m. until noon on parade day. Please don't bring any coolers, large boxes of food. Only bring what you can fit into your backpack or a small bag. All right.
Woo-woo! We're almost at the end of the video.
Almost at the end. Thank you so much for sitting through it. It's going to be so worth it in the end. But really, we just want to thank you so much for doing what you do. If this is your first time, like I said, it's going to be an amazing experience. And for all of you that come back, that's a testament right there. Without your help, without your energy and your teamwork, this parade would not be possible. And we can't show our appreciation enough, but we will try by giving you some little gifts. You're going to receive 2 KdV 2015 cups, 2, is it 2 or 1?
2 wooden nickels.
2 wooden nickels.
We're not cheap on you guys.
Okay, good.
You're getting only the best wooden nickels from us.
Your own KdV Escort t-shirt. Of course, your ticket into the ball, which is huge, where you get beer, free beer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like.
And then something a little bit different this year is that we are used to feeding you. We're not doing that this year. Your own sub crews are going to feed you at the pre-party at the den. So just enjoy, soak it in, enjoy it. It's fantastic. It's one of the best experiences you'll ever have, I promise.
Well, thanks for watching our very, very informative KdV Escort video. Hope to see you all at the parade. If you have any other questions that we didn't answer, you can email us directly. Escort number 1's email address is sologuitar, SOLOGUITAR @gmail.com, and escort number 2's email address is HERBEJ @hotmail.com. Get in touch. There is the document that we've covered in the video should also have been emailed to you, either from escort number 2 or from your subcrew captain. And have a great time. See you out on the route, and have a happy KdV.